Kevin Rudd, meanwhile, has been exasperated with the media over this story. Here he is.
The reason we are in this debate at all, notwithstanding the headline in your paper today, is because Mr Abbott, as of today, has not faced one element of scrutiny by a range of newspaper outlets on when he will deliver his full costings.
Now, is that true? I mean, he gets asked this, and I asked him again this morning, every time he's interviewed. What more can you do? You can't force him
every press
to
conference
disclose
you see, that's the question. The questioning is always about that, and he just maintains in calm and says in due course, and we'll release it in our own time and when we wish to. And I mean, what does Kevin Rudd want?
And the other point is, I think the Prime Minister's obsessed with newspapers. That clip is about newspapers, but the main media, as we all know, is mainly television and radio, and increasingly social media. Newspapers play a part, but the idea that somehow News Limited is going to determine the outcome of this election is simply unhinged.
He broadened it out beyond News Limited, by the way, at that news conference. He was saying that he was getting stuck into Fairfax as well.
Yeah, well, and I would argue that there is culpability here in the media. I think Kevin Rudd, has to blame Labor itself because I think it has misplayed this costings argument. But without a doubt, stories about hairdressers and just crap stories, just nonsense stories, are one thing. But there should be pressure on the coalition to announce what it's doing and to say what it's doing. And yes, you can ask questions at press conferences, but in the few periods of time when the media has collectively said, look, this isn't good enough, you've got to put out some figures, the coalition has had to do so. That's why they brought out the $30 billion figures this week. So I think there is definitely an argument that the distractions and the personality politics of the last 3 years has meant people haven't been focusing on policy.
Okay, well, what he said this morning is that I think he accepted that the cuts wouldn't be announced before the electronic blackout comes in on Wednesday, but Kevin Rudd would have them in front of him on Thursday. Now, that's the last 36, 48 hours. That's very late in the piece.
It is, but the argument they've been using is, well, Labor didn't do it until the final throes of the campaign, the last campaign. Labor would argue, but that actually they were releasing their costings the whole way through that campaign, and so that's a fair view.
Anyway, you don't take a bad precedent and run with that.
No, and exactly that's.